What's going on, everybody? Fernando from Georgian BMW, and today, for the first time ever, joining me is Richard Cook. Now, for those of you who don't know, Richard Cook is actually the person behind the lens always of all these incredible videos. Today, we're going to be talking about this incredible 2022 X5 M Sport, finished in beautiful Alpine White with Black Vernasca Leather. Thanks for joining us, Richard.
Yeah, no problem. This will be fun.
So, you know, you've seen a whole bunch of these cars. We've talked about them, we've videoed them. What do you think of this particular spec, and what do you think of the X5?
Yeah, so I mean, the X5 is obviously one of the more popular BMW models, and it's not really hard to see why. I like this one in particular. I think white looks really good on the X5.
Yep.
And then this one's been outfitted with all of the sort of chrome delete, black extended contents, and carbon mirror caps, and I think that gives it a really sporty look. And everyone loves the Black 22s. I think the wheels.
I do.
I think the wheels look great, and you know, laser lights are awesome. So it is a really nice spec,
yep.
Even though it's a 40i, so sort of the entry level X5. Sure.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, there's a couple of different engine variants that you can get with the X5. It starts off with the 40i, which is the famous BMW 3-liter inline twin-scrolled turbo 6. Then after that, we move into the 4.4-liter V8, which is a twin-turbo V8. And then you move into the X5M competition, which is still the 4.4-liter V8, but frankly, kind of on steroids, giving you a whole ton of power. This particular one, as Richard, you mentioned, this is the 40i, so we're gonna still have a ton of horsepower, ton of torque, giving you everything that you really need.
Hopefully one day we'll get to do a 45e, which is the plug-in hybrid variant of this, which I think would be really cool too.
Yeah, and that's a good shout out, because the 45e, you know, it's been out for a couple years now, but we just can't seem to get them in stock because they are so popular, giving you a ton of range. But let's get back to this one. So as you mentioned, laser lights, which is a personal favorite of mine, giving you full adaptation of the lights. So they're gonna turn about 15 degrees ahead of your steer. Black kidney grills with extended content, so no chrome on the car anywhere except for the X5 badging on the back. Black window surrounds. My favorite feature with any BMW, I've talked about this time and time again, is the advanced driver's assistance, which is this puck right here. It's gonna keep you center in the lane during cruise control, and it's gonna do all the steering for you.
And it works really well. And I've driven other competitor brands and things like that that offer some sort of similar kind of cruise control, and yep. This one works exceptionally well at keeping you center in the lane. It's very confident. It works really, really well.
Yeah. So why don't we get inside? We'll have a look at the car, and then of course, let's get out and drive the car.
So we're here on the inside of the 2022 X5. Now, I'm not a product expert, but I'm gonna give you an idea of what I notice as sort of a regular consumer, and then Fernando can kind of fill us in on the details later. But the first thing you notice is just how well this interior is put together. All the fit and finish is excellent. The material choices are top-notch. Everything from, you know, the stitching on the dashboard to the carbon fiber trim. This is an option, but it's definitely the right option for this car. I think it definitely carries in that carbon fiber messaging from outside. This one also has some other cool options like Bowers & Wilkins audio, which is, I think it's about 16 speakers inside. They're in the headliner, they're in the doors, on the dash, and it sounds absolutely incredible. On the steering wheel, there's lots of buttons, but it's very well laid out and very easy to understand. So you've got cruise control on the left, audio and sort of iDrive stuff on the right, with your heated steering wheel button in the middle. One of the things I really appreciate about the X5 compared to some of the competitors is just how many actual tactile buttons there are to do the things that you want to do on a regular basis. So we still have a volume knob, like mind-blowing. There's still actual climate control buttons rather than a touch screen or some sort of capacitive touch piano black thing like you see in a lot of the other luxury cars. So really easy, really well laid out, and very ergonomic interior. Another really nice thing in this interior is the seats themselves. So they're easy to get in and out of, they're supportive. This is the Vernasca leather. There are additional options for leathers if you want to go with a merino leather, which is a bit softer, has sort of a diamond stitching in it, which is very nice. But even the Vernasca is really soft and a very nice seat. These are of course heated along with the rear seats, but what you don't maybe know in the X5 is you can actually get heated armrests on either side. And heated armrests are one of those things where until you have it, you don't really realize you want it. But it is a really nice feature. I believe this has that as well.
So utility is definitely not lost on the 2022 X5, although you're going to get a ton of luxury features, a ton of power and performance. Utility is really what this car is all about. One of my favorite features we're going to start off with is the power foot activated liftgate. So as long as the key is on your person, which I have it in my pocket, walk up to the car, take a kick underneath the tailgate, you're going to see it flash and it will open up both tailgates for you, revealing a whole bunch of cargo space. You will notice that we have 2 tailgates on this car, which is traditional for the X5, and it's a really, really great feature. Simple things like if you've got kids or you just want somewhere that you want to sit, put on your boots, or do anything really, you can. Now this tailgate will actually hold 2 full-grown adults. Another nice thing about the tailgate is it's plastic, so you don't need to worry about scratching your bumper as you load things in and out. We do have the luggage compartment package, which gives us tonneau cover, and you can also release the latches for the back seats to go down. Now, this particular one does not have a trailer hitch, but you can in fact option the X5 with a trailer hitch. That's going to give us a 5 and a 7-pin wiring harness and will allow you to tow up to 7,700 pounds without a problem. So this particular one that we're in, like I had mentioned earlier, this is a premium enhanced model, which is going to give us a few little goodies above and beyond just the traditional X-Line or even the enhanced. So Richard, one of the first things you're going to notice is you do have heads-up display, which is a really nice 8.8-inch display. That's going to give us turn-by-turn directions, speed limit, posted speed limit, incoming, outgoing calls, and any of your media. Live Cockpit Professional is standard for the X5. And like I had also said, this one has the advanced driver's assistance feature. Wireless charging, heated and cooled cup holders, and several different drive modes.
Yeah, so we're just kind of in, I think, comfort right now.
Comfort mode, yeah. The car is always going to start in comfort mode.
Yeah, so it always starts in comfort, and then we've got Sport, Eco Pro, but the one I think is really interesting is actually adaptive.
Yeah.
And I think that uses like all sorts of cameras and GPS data and stuff to sort of change how the car behaves. Yeah,
so adaptive is strictly going to address the suspension of the car and the steering. So as you start to drive in a more assertive manner, it's going to adjust for you. Now, in some of the X5s, you can also option them with air ride suspension. This one doesn't have air ride, but when you click adaptive, it's going to stiffen up your suspension still.
Nice. I like the heads-up display. It's really bright. I mean, it's middle of the day right now, and there's absolutely no visibility issues. It also tells you the posted speed limit, so you know if you're exceeding that a little too much, which is easy to do in this, because it kind of flies, you know, for a 40i. It's not underpowered at all. There's no, for most people, this is going to be above and beyond what you need in everyday driving. Right. And you're going to get the efficiency of a 6-cylinder without having to step up to that V8 to get that power. Really is amazing what they've done with turbos.
So obviously I'm a little biased. Not only do I clearly work for BMW, but I drive one of these as well. I drive actually something identical to what we're in right now. But there's a lot of cars that are in this class that are really competitors to this. So you've got the Mercedes-Benz GLE. In some cases, you also have the Audi Q7. But one of the main things that I always like to point out when you're dealing with an X5 is they don't start with a 4-cylinder like you get in the GLE. The standard engine is the Turbo 6, giving you a ton of power. Versus in the GLE, you'd have to step all the way up into the GLE, I believe 450.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, it's interesting, and I guess that's part of BMW's, you know, kind of heritage. It's all about the driving experience, the ultimate driving machine, and all that. So they kind of start you off on a higher peg than where you would at some of the other competitors. And for sure, the voice assistant from BMW is pretty advanced, and you can do things like open the sunroof, change your climate, all that stuff, just with your voice. And then I don't think this has gesture control, but you can get gesture control.
You can get gesture control. So another hands-free option.
Right.
Turning up the volume, turning down the volume, skipping songs, pausing songs, answering a call.
And that's going to become more popular with the electric cars as they try to push everything into the screen.
Yeah, so we've got iDrive 8 coming out next.
Yeah.
And iDrive 8 is going to be 5G ready. It's, I believe, about 20 times faster than iDrive 7, which is crazy because this is already so fast.
Yeah, it is. I don't know how they make it any faster, to be honest.
So, you don't drive a BMW every single day?
I don't.
I do, so again, I'm clearly biased.
A little biased, yeah.
But, at the price point, do you see yourself buying one of them? Like, is this, for the price point, is it worth it?
I'd say so. I don't even think you know, I've driven an M50
Yep.
with the V8, and it sounds awesome and all that. But there's certain costs that come with 2 extra cylinders.
Sure.
And I think I would just get this. I think the it's not V6, flat 6 or whatever is fantastic. The X-Drive system is excellent. It's incredibly comfortable. It's quiet. It's got all the tech. I mean, yeah, I think for the money, I would absolutely consider it. I'm not in this market, unfortunately, but I would consider it.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually. I do think BMW has some of the best luxury offerings right now. I don't think you know, there's much negative to say about it, really. Another cool thing with BMW is your scheduled maintenance is included in the price.
Yeah, that's right. So you get 3 years, 60,000 kilometer prepaid maintenance. Now that is anything that is time interval based.
Yeah.
So that does include your oil changes or anything that the car requires at a certain time.
Right.
And the car is actually going to communicate back with your local dealership for what is needed. So before you even realize that you need it, somebody at a BMW store is going to pick up the phone and call you to come in for that service because your car is constantly communicating back.
It's very cool. And you know, if you did a 3-year lease, theoretically you'd never have any other costs than your lease payment.
Well, listen, for more information on this car or any other cars or any other information that you may need, you can reach out to me on our website at www.georgiabmw.ca. And until next time, thanks for watching.